morning, everyone. Well, welcome to First Unitarian Church in New Bedford. I am Reverend Karen LeBlanc. We are so glad you are here. So many new faces. I love it. We are a people creating beloved community here at First Unitarian. We believe in practicing and promoting the UU values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in our congregation, and all those values always spring from the love at the center that guides us all. We are people of purpose in this church. We work to make sure that everyone feels welcome in this meeting house. And if what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you'll consider becoming part of this way cool family of seekers and keepers of this very long dream that is our church. First Unitarian in New Bedford recognizes that the land that we inhabit and enjoy sits on the unceded ancestral land of the Wampanoag. We give respect to the people of the First Light and their ancestors, and we honor them in our church. A few little housekeeping things. Like I said, if you're new, if you fill out one of these magic blue cards, that will put your name on our mailing list, and you can get our weekly newsletter, or you can request a meeting with me. Join us for coffee hour after the service right through that door. We are live streaming today, so please be aware of that. If you would put your phones into worship mode, that would be great, so we can keep this time and space sacred. And I also have an important announcement here about, so next week, Reverend Gretchen Weiss will be preaching, and she is one of my favorite preachers, so I'm going to come to church, even though it's my week off, to hear her preach, because she's just terrific. And she's going to be talking a lot about like the current political situation, as I'm sure we're all approaching the election. You're getting a little, so Gretchen will help us chill out. The week after that, though, a very exciting climate justice revival is sweeping the UU world, and we're going to be part of it. So on September 28th and 29th, congregations across this country will host UU climate justice revivals to collectively reimagine a spirit-filled and liberatory future. Through conversations, worship, advocacy, congregations will work together to realize climate justice and collective liberation in our communities. So on Saturday, the 28th, my kid's birthday, our congregation will identify opportunities for climate justice in our unique context, develop a vision for a flourishing future, identify a clear set of potential actions we can take, which is a real important part, and enable people and participants to understand what your role is in this interdependent ecosystem of justice and collaboration. The Sunday will be focused on the same topic of climate justice, and then after that we'll engage in an hour-long talk about how we all think we can go ahead and keep doing this important work. Okay, so ends the announcements. Now, if you'll all stand up for a moment. If you are able, put your hands over your head. Take a deep breath. Would you let it out? Do cactus arms like this. A couple of those. And one more. Now bring your hands to your hearts. Feel love for yourself and the love for people around you and your interconnectedness. Does that feel better? All right, sit down. Who's gonna light our chalice today? Nolan, look at how big you boys have gotten over the summer. Stop it already. I can't believe it. We light our chalice each week with a simple spark to make holy our time here together. With this flame, may our highest intentions be refreshed. With this flame, may we remember who we are and whose we are. With this flame, may our faith be renewed and reignited to guide our journey. Amen, and may it be so. You got a grip on that there, Noah? All right. Oh, no, you're going to go like those. No, no, no. He's such an overachiever, that kid. I love him. Our opening words are from Dr. David Breeden. Welcome to this place where certainty transforms into questions. This place that takes what is and imagines what can be. Welcome to this space where what was fixed begins to shift, where rigidity embraces unfolding as we join in the dance of a transformation. Welcome to this moment of change, where together we transfigure and transcend together. And now, let us sing our first hymn, Rise If You Are Willing and Able. It's number 361 in the gray hymnal.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Rejoice and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid for some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Now, please take the time to say good morning to one another. Oh, nice. Now, if you'll remain standing for just a moment, we're going to read our covenant together, which is printed in your order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. Have a seat, my friends. Our Director of Religious Education, Yasmin Flefle Vincent, is going to give us a little story.
Good morning, everyone. Fun fact about me, every time I cross the threshold to go teach high school, I say, enter, rejoice, and come in. And then I get in there and I'm like, yes. And then throughout the day, I'm like, I will promote justice and kindness. And I go over that in my head to ground myself. So I don't know, it might work for you. I just love that we have those words to guide us. Okay, in your order of service, there are two really great things. The answers to the riddles that I'm gonna do, and then the little insert, which you're going to recycle your order of service today because we are, mindful of recycling. There's a little insert of our Article 2 words that you might want to keep for your own home you ideas. Just a thought. So here we go. Okay. First riddle. And these are our new Article 2 words, all rooted with love at the center. I'm not a toy, nor something to eat, yet I make hearts warm with a feeling so sweet. Sharing smiles and helping those in need, spreading kindness, my good deeds exceed. What am I? Anyone? Some of the words are here, they're in here. Anyone want to guess what that links to? I see a hand. Nope, not love, but it's part of love because if you don't have love, then that doesn't really work. Next one, another guess? Begins with a G. Generosity, I saw a hand back up there, very good. Okay, I need you. You need me. Together we make a great team, you see, sharing tasks and working hand in hand, stronger together across the land. What am I? We have a front row answer. It begins with an I, interdependence. Very good. Okay, in a world of many voices, I thrive, diverse beliefs and cultures side by side. Respecting differences, we all can grow. Together we celebrate, our unity shows. What am I? Pluralism. Yes, pluralism. All right. I start as a caterpillar, crawling slow. Then I spin a cocoon where I undergo a magical change as if by a spell. Emerging with wings, oh, what a tale to tell. What am I? Yes, Lucy. Transformation. Okay, I ensure fairness for everyone. Giving equal chances under the sun, not the same for each, but just as right. Balancing scales with all my might. What am I? Yes. Equity? Yes, equity, that scale. I'm a feeling that makes you warm inside. It's something you can't see, but you know it's there to guide. It's what you give to friends and family alike, and it's what makes the world a happier place, day and night. What am I? Everyone? Love is at the center of all of these values for us. So, with that, we're going to head off to Sunday school, and we're going to read our words as we get going. May words I say be kind and true. May love be a guide in all I do. May kindness be in my heart. And peace be with us all.
Have fun, kids. Come on, Lucy Lou. Come on. You look lovely today. All right. Now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys or concerns. So if you have something you'd like to share, please come forward, tell us your name, I will light the candle for you and tell us what you'd like to share briefly, if you would. You guys have been in Unitarian churches before when people go on and on and on. Right, I have something I want to share first, which is a very happy 50th birthday to my sister Evie. Today is her birthday, so that makes me very happy. Anyone else like to come up? Come on, Tony. Yeah.
Hello. So yesterday, Izzy and I celebrated Roshin's birthday. We went out, for some drinks and a little bit of food, and we just kind of hung out and talked and stuff. And it was just like really cool to hang out with her. She's the best. So here's to much more time to spend with her, and she's just a good friend.
Hey, happy birthday, Roshin. Come on, honey. Oh, I miss you. Come on. I'll light it. You're going to light it for me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rochelle, and this is our 12th year of being members of this church.
Which means we've got to see all those kids as little babies. I know, before they were born, most of them. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, then I will do this. So we light 2 final candles as our practice here, one for all the joys and the sorrows we keep in our hearts today, and one for everyone out there that doesn't have a safe and secure place like this to share their joys and sorrows in. Randy accompanying himself. How cool is that, really? So talented. Now, our responsive reading this morning, which you can find in your gray hymnal, is number 591, 591. Do. 591. I will read the plain type if you will answer with the italicized. I call that church free which enters into a covenant with the ultimate source of existence. It binds together families and generations, protecting against the idolatry of any human claim to absolute truth or authority. I call that church free which brings individuals into a caring, trusting fellowship. It is open to insight and conscience from every source. It bursts through rigid tradition, giving rise to new and living language, to new and broader fellowship. The goal is the prophethood and priesthood of all believers, the one for the liberty of prophesying, the other for the ministry of healing. Indeed, indeed, maketh all things new. And now, my friends, let us enter into a moment of prayer and meditation. This is from Reverend Lyn Cox. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May the healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for all these things and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. Amen, and so may it be. Our second reading is from Christine Paintner. Carl Jung once said in a BBC interview that he began calling God all those things which cross my willful path violently and recklessly, all things which upset my subjective views, plans, and intentions, and change the course of my life for better or worse. The divine power, the divine is that power which disrupts everything. What if our practice were to court a holy disruption, to welcome in everything which challenges my perspective on how the world works, which upsets all the plans I have made for myself and turns them on their heads? What if when life started falling apart, I opened my heart to welcome in the grief and fear that arrived, as well as considered them as holy guides and windows into the immensity of God? What if all the painful feelings of loss and disorientation were invited in for tea and tenderness? What if everything that turns our preconceived ideas inside out is precisely where we will find God? And now, if you will join me for our second hymn, number 121, Rise as You Are Willing and Able, number 121.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the war of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised lands that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed at God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace is an ever-flowing stream. build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faith and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the land, my people we seek. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever flowing stream.
Please be seated. Those of you new here, that's Tony Ann Wong. She is our hymn leader. We love her. Yes, indeed. You get some applause, girl. Now is the time in our service where we ask you for your kind donations toward the many good works of this church. And we also remind you that if you have not made a pledge yet, you're welcome to do so at any time, really soon. Thank you so much. There are pledge cards downstairs, I believe. So the first Soul Matters theme this year is invitation. And today we're going to talk about an invitation to change. So there's a good reason that our hymnal that we use here is called Singing the Living Tradition. That's because Unitarian Universalism is truly a living tradition. The expectation of growth and change is built into our denomination, as it is in our lives. The great writer Anais Nin said, "Life is a process of becoming, a combination of states we have to go through. Where people fail is that they wish to elect a state and remain in it. This is a kind of death." And she's right. If something is too long in a standstill, it will stagnate. So that's why our Unitarian Universalist Association's bylaws mandate that every 15 years we examine and update Article 2, which is the section of our bylaws that describes our shared values, what we used to call our principles, and our common sources of inspiration. So for over 3 years now, after a sometimes long and grueling democratic process involving thousands of UUs across the country and the world, discussing our faith's values and core theology, delegates like myself at General Assembly this year voted decisively to approve a new statement of values and beliefs. It was an exciting process to be part of. Our new UUA president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, told UU World magazine after the vote, she said, "This is a historic moment for Unitarian Universalism as we move our living tradition forward to focus on shared values that will help promote liberation, radical inclusion, and communal care, both within our church and across society." Thousands of UUs put in countless hours of hard work to discern, discuss, and debate the direction of our faith tradition. If you know UUs, that debate was crazy. So this work was done carefully, thoughtfully, and thoroughly, and that is something that all UUs can and should be proud of. Additionally, this demonstrates how functioning democratic processes can be used to change that is just and equitable. Everybody who wanted to be involved had the opportunity to provide input and make their case. This language of shared values is all the stronger and more reflective of who UUs are today because it was a shared process, end quote. Now, I've been part of this process from the beginning, and the work was done carefully and thoughtfully and very thoroughly. But it was also a tremendously emotional process for a lot of UUs. There was a lot of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, oh, but the 7 principles are why I became a Unitarian. You know, they're the cornerstone of our religion. How could we just throw them to the wayside? That's not what we're doing. So, Reverend Walter Clark addressed this, and he said, "The principles are not what we as Unitarian Universe just believe, nor are they what our faith is about. Instead, the principles are an attempt to point us to what our faith truly is. The principles are a way for us to articulate our faith, and as history has shown us, there will be times we need to re-examine the words we use to try and describe that ineffable center to our denomination, that thing that we all hold in common. And since we are a faith that believes in re-examining ourselves and the world around us, it only makes sense that eventually these principles will change. So to be clear, we did not toss out our principles. We updated the language of our shared values and made them stronger and more reflective of who UUs are today. So we're going to take a look right now at what our updated values encompass. Yasmin sort of went through it all before, but if you take a look at the cover of your order of service today, you can see in a nutshell what these changes are. And the first thing you'll notice, and the thing that we wanted to make most important, was that love is at the center of all of these values. So former UUA President Reverend Susan Frederick Gray said, "It is this understanding of love that formed one of the most precious gifts Unitarian Universalism has given me. The gift of a religion that teaches that the work of justice is inseparable from a faith rooted in love. It was reinforced by the stories and theology of Unitarian Universalism, that no one is outside the circle of love." So as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritage of freedom, reason, hope, courage, and building on this foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love, end quote. So if you were here last year, you would know that I preached sermons on every one of these updated shared values to prepare sort of for GA last year. So we're going to go through them one at a time and remembering that all these values lead back to love. So we've got justice. We work toward being diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all people thrive. And we covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. Justice. Equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Thank goodness. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. So that's all of them. Excuse me, one second. So we still cover all the principles that we used to have, but we updated the language and feeling of our shared values, making them easier to comprehend and to remember. I will admit that even I, as a Unitarian minister, could not remember the exact words of all 8 principles of ours. They were rather long. But our updated values uses one word for each, and it becomes a lot easier for everyone to digest personally and to tell others what we believe as Unitarian Universalists. Someone came up with, someone came up with an anagram and a visual aid to help us remember. Jet pig. Jet pig. Jet pig. It's a pig with goggles and a jetpack with a big heart on his belly. So, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity. I can remember that. I bet you can remember that. Now, because UUs tend to overthink things, there has been a number of folks who, for some reasons, did not like jet pig. So, some think it trivializes our deepest values. One person took offense to some of the images of jet pig, which looked AI generated, because they think that AI has a disastrous effect on the environment and on the copyright and fair pay of human artists. There's a Reddit thread where someone said, "I can't stand that short-distance air travel and an animal mostly factory farmed are cute ways to talk about our values. It feels gross personally, and I know there's people who will see this and just think, bacon." Excuse me while I face palm. I personally think jet pig, or the optional J piglet, I kind of like that. They're useful tools to help us recall and explain to other people what our values are. And when we go from full sentence principles to single word values, acronyms are gonna follow. Those are just the letters we have to work with, okay? So I invite you to try to make up a whole other word. I tried, I'm pretty good with words, couldn't do it. But I invite you to make your own decisions about that, as always. But I also assure you that when someone inevitably asks what your UU values are, jet pig gonna fly right into your head, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, justice, equity, yeah. So this is really a thrilling time to be a UU, with so many changes afoot. Ralph Waldo Emerson, that guy in the corner over there, he said, "Nothing is secure but life, transition, and the energizing spirit. People wish to be settled, but only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them." This work was unsettling for a lot of UUs, but in the end, it was really worth it. This work was a great example of how we can make big changes thoughtfully, democratically, and in a way that invited everyone to the table for 3 years before this was finished. And I invite you to dig deeper. Go to the uua.org website if you'd like to read the full new version of Article 2. It's fascinating stuff, and there's more than just these values, of course. Let me close with some words from the great John O'Donohue. To live a truly creative life, we always need to cast a critical look at where we presently are, attempting always to discern where we have become stagnant and where a new beginning might be ripening. There can be no growth if we do not remain open and vulnerable to what is new and different. I have never seen anyone take a risk for growth that was not rewarded 1,000 times over. Let's take the risk, people. Let's invite growth and change into our lives. And may we undertake to do this work joyfully and together. So may it be. And now, our final hymn is going to be in our blue hymnal, the teal hymnal, number 1028, Fire of Commitment.
And it's important to note for this song, it's a little bit special. So just so you know, before we sing the song, the rhythm is going to be different than most other songs. A lot of songs are usually just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, it's going to be sung in what's called 5/4 time.
5/4 time, gotta love it.
All you gotta know, there's a whole bunch of music theory that I could bore you all day about, but all you gotta know is that you basically sing this song as if you were singing Mission Impossible theme. So bump, 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 light of days remembered, burnt, think of that. Basically, if you think that it's a little bit off, that's because it is. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith's set freedom fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Thank you, my friends. Go ahead and have a seat. Our closing words are from Dr. David Breeden, A Theology of Welcome. Let's be the welcome we crave, open hearts, arms outstretched. Let's embody radical welcome, unquestioning love. Let's be the welcome we crave, deeply hearing voices and hearts. Let's be the welcome we crave, enriching understanding. Let us embody the community we crave. Can we do that? All right. Hold fast, my church. We love you. Stay strong. Live long and prosper. Go in peace. So please join us for coffee hour. And since we have so many new faces here, which makes me so excited, the kids are making name tags today. So go find where the kids are. They're in the Maya Chapik room. And slap on a name tag so that we can all get to know each other's names, please. I'm Karen. Hi. Okay, come on.